Hello and welcome to the first video on the Bloodspilled channel. Today we are looking at 25 facts about Friday the 13th. Obviously this will mostly be centred around the first film, but we'll have a couple of facts about the future films, games, crossover, stuff like that. So watch till the end and hope you have a good time. Despite popular belief, Jason Voorhees didn't appear until the second film in the franchise. Although many do believe he did appear in the first film, he did not. It was a dream sequence and a flashback. When Jason did eventually make his actual appearance in the second film, he did not have his iconic hockey mask yet. He got that in the third film. Despite Jason Voorhees being one of the most iconic horror villains, he was only 8th of 15 horror villains to get an 8-bit Funko Pop. Despite many requests for it, Jason will never appear in Dead by Daylight, as he has his own game, Friday the 13th, named after the films. In the film Jason Goes to Hell, one of the characters stumbles upon a book, which looks very similar to the Necronomicon from the Evil Dead series. Many may know about the film Freddy vs. Jason, or Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees battle, although you may not know that there is a comic Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash from the Evil Dead. Also in Freddy vs. Jason, there is a famous line where one of the characters claims that Freddy's weakness is fire and Jason's is water. Despite this, Jason often appears submerged in water without having any reaction at all. In a lesser-known Friday the 13th game, Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle, there is a cameo from James A. Janice and Chelsea Rebecca of Dead Meat. Continuing with the theme of Dead Meat, Friday the 13th is the only one of the big four, in my opinion, to not have been nominated for a Dead Meat Horror Award. The now iconic role of Pamela Voorhees was only given to Betsy Palmer because she needed a new car. The setting for Friday the 13th is an actual campsite which is still in use, and it has a wall of Friday the 13th memorabilia. It was only given access to the cast and crew because they made a sizable donation to the Boy Scouts of America. The now infamous sound Jason makes when he approaches was actually the voice of composer Harry Manfredini. Betsy Palmer often tells fans that the current killer isn't Jason, and that Jason died in 1957. Friday the 13th isn't the only iconic horror film that came out that year, as in 1980, The Shining was released. Unlike Halloween, Friday the 13th chose not to put much music into their film and chose to only play music when the killer is present. The name Jason Voorhees wasn't actually mentioned until over an hour into the film. After the release of Friday the 13th, Adrienne King had a stalker which caused her to ask to be killed in Part 2 and not take another role for 20 years. Despite how famous the film is, it took less than a month to shoot. To be specific, it took 28 days in total. Despite playing the main villain, Friday the 13th was the first role Betsy Palmer took up since 1959, which was a 21-year gap in her career. Before choosing to take the role, Betsy Palmer referred to the script as a p and threw it across the room in front of the scriptwriter. Director Sean Cunningham only joined the franchise because he saw it as a way to pay his bills. Despite being famous for being called Friday the 13th, the working title for the film was A Long Night at Camp Blood. Director Sean Cunningham began to advertise the film in magazines before he was even given a script. In the French dub of the first film, Jason's name was changed to Jackie. However, in the second film it was changed back to Jason, leaving Jason Voorhees as a character in the first film and Jason returning in the second. Hi everyone, I'd like to personally thank you for watching that video. I know it's probably not going to be my best work because this is really a first attempt. This is my first video ever on this channel, so if you enjoyed it, drop a like, drop a subscribe, and not follow if we're on YouTube. But yeah, keep an eye out for any other uploads I make.